What's up, everybody? Max Whitman here, joined by the podcaster known as Kato, in this case, the YouTuber known as Kato. And we are back with our second episode of Impact. This is week 2 in May. It's the go-home show for Turning Point, I think. I'm terrible at knowing which pay-per-view. Is it Turning Point?
Yes, it's Turning Point.
It's Turning Point. Okay, so we are in our go-home show. We're leading into Turning Point. Let's jump right into it. We're hoping this puts on a little bit of a better show than last week's episode, but here we go. And let's run the show.
Let's hop right into it.
So we are opening up, here we go, in a decent match. Davey Boy Smith Jr. and Cody Rhodes defeat Joseph and Chandler Park in just under 12 minutes. Cody Rhodes defeats Chandler Park by pinfall with a Crossroads. Let's see, Chandler Park was the weak link. Yeah, we knew that. It scores a 57, which is good, because I think our current popularity is like a 51, so we're actually above where we are. Davey Boy debuted his gimmick, good. Cody Rhodes debuted his arrogant heel gimmick, which actually should change because he's a babyface. Although it's gotten a great rating. The match got the show off to a strong start, got the crowd hotter. Got the crowd hotter. Cody Rhodes had a 62 performance.
It's pretty good.
Davey Boy a 51. Joseph Park a 58, actually. And Chandler Park an abysmal 22.
Joseph Park did a lot better than I thought he would do in this match.
Yeah, I never really saw Abyss, like, in his prime. So I don't really know. I just knew he was I was just figured he was a Mankind ripoff. But yeah, he does. A 58 is better than I thought it would be.
Yeah. I mean, in his prime, he was actually pretty good and very entertaining to watch.
Okay. Well, there we go. I mean, honestly, if he can put on good matches, then I'm all for it. So, for the record, we are we're live in front of 2,200 people in Saskatchewan. We're in a generic venue in Saskatchewan. Next segment. Oh, here we go. Don Callis. It's a bad idea to have Chandler Park taking place in a match being called in the ring. Yeah, we knew that. We knew that would happen.
But even taking that chance, it still had a strong performance.
Yes. Okay.
Ooh, ouch.
So, I know why it's good. So, Ortiz is not his gimmick. Conan did good work. The crowd were totally turned off by having a match between jobbers on the main show. Okay, that's fair. Desmond Xavier did get a 33, though. Ortiz a 24. Okay, well, it is what it is. Let's just go to the next segment, which is really what we're looking for here. And it's an angle featuring Desmond Xavier and Jericho. So, Desmond Xavier, basically, after his match, he picks up the win. And he's basically saying, I'm the next big thing. People want to talk about Impact and a new direction for Impact. And Chris Jericho this. And Chris Jericho's going to lead Impact into the promised land. Desmond Xavier is basically saying, I'm going to lead Impact into the promised land. Chris Jericho comes out. Says he's got a big mouth. He's got an awfully big mouth for a young kid. And Desmond Xavier challenges him to a match at Turning Point. And Chris Jericho accepts that challenge.
Saying that Xavier just got a 33 performance in that last match against a jobber, I think him as Chris Jericho is going to actually be a pretty good match.
I agree. I actually think it's going to be a decent match. Mainly because Jericho can have a good match with anybody. But let me see. It says Jericho looked good. Desmond Xavier looked lost out there. Jericho improvised well, and Desmond Xavier didn't. So that's why. He needs a script. But what'll happen, Jericho doesn't like to work with a script. And what'll happen is if you script one guy and you let another guy go off script, it throws the whole thing off. So basically, I had to let Xavier go off script. Otherwise, Jericho would have had to go on script, and while it wouldn't have pissed him off because he's our user character, Jericho's always going to do better without a script. But actually, it's not bad. 54, that's not too bad.
So it's pretty good so far.
What are the changes here? So he's currently... What is it? Oh, it's a gimmick change. That's right. Yes, we want to change the gimmick. He debuts a band member gimmick. The change was far too soon after his last one, but it did get an above average grade. So, okay. Whatever. I guess, I don't know. But it's above average. That's fine. Next segment. We get Kenny Omega versus DJZ. Let's see. A bout that had decent wrestling but didn't have much heat. Kenny defeated DJZ in 7.5 minutes by pinfall. Scores of 47. Actually, it's really not that bad. Omega debuts his Thrill Seeker gimmick. It's very good. Kenny Omega has an in-ring performance of 48 or 49. What does that say?
That's a 40.
49.
He brought down the match.
DJZ is a 40. So Kenny's a 49, DJZ's a 40.
Okay.
The overall grade of 47. That's really not too bad. I think that will, as Kenny Omega gets a little more popular, I think that'll start to increase. We got changes to handle here. It's a gimmick change.
I think this gimmick will fit the DJZ a lot better.
DJZ has now switched to a flamboyant gimmick. The gimmick has got an initial rating of very good. All right, so this one will suit. We were getting a penalty for him not being suited to his gimmick. This one will work a little bit better. One thing, interesting thing to note that's different from our last one, we did tweak that product setting a little bit.
Yeah.
And we're not getting penalized anymore for having conflicting products there. I am disappointed in the 47, but it's actually, I mean, it's not bad. Kenny Omega is kind of unknown in Canada, considering he's from Canada, but whatever. Decent mid-card match. Kenny Omega's going to cut a promo here, and he was very poor when trying to improvise dialogue. That's probably my fault. And it's basically just Omega just cutting a promo. Honestly, I don't really know what he was saying here. This is basically just a promo to kind of get him some mic time, introduce himself to the crowd. It gets a 31, which, honestly, it's still going to boost Kenny a little bit.
Yeah.
It brings the show down, but it'll boost Kenny a little bit because his popularity is like an 8 or a 9.
Exactly.
And this goes to 31. So it will actually boost his popularity.
And that's what we need from Kenny. He needs more camera time. Let the fans know who he is.
Exactly. Next segment. Okay. Homicide versus Tangaroa. This is actually a better match than I thought it would be. It scores a 46. Homicide is a 52. Tangaroa a 30. Tangaroa sustained a type 1 supracondylar fracture.
Wow.
I don't know what that is. So we brought in Tama Tonga and Tangaroa to be, obviously, the Gorillas of Destiny tag team. The first show... Actually, we didn't even have a show.
He didn't wrestle yet.
Tama Tonga didn't even wrestle, and he already had, like, broken his back or something. No, he had spinal stenosis. He's out for 6 months. Now Tangaroa's out. We'll see how long it's going to take. He's going to be out for. That's disappointing, because we wanted to push him as a singles wrestler until Tama came back. Now it looks like they'll just have to come back as a tag team. Tangaroa won by submission, by the way. I don't know what his submission moves are.
With the injury.
But it scores a 46, so...
Not too bad.
Not too bad at all. Let's see. Does it tell us what the injury is? Yeah. I think it's a bad decision to have Tangaroa taking part in matches being called in the ring. That's why he was so bad. He sustained a supracondylar fracture, so we won't really know how long he's out until after the show, but... The Briscoes versus the Scene scores a 42. This is a number 1 contenders match for the tag team titles. So it's the Briscoes versus the Scene. The Briscoes pick up a win. They're the new number 1 contenders. What do we get here? The Briscoes, 45 and 45. That's their rating.
Good.
Not bad. Conley at 37 and
Brian
Cage at 43. So really, it's not that bad. You know what? It's hard for me when I'm playing this as Impact.
Right.
It's hard for me because I always play... I'm either playing as, like, the WWE, or I'm playing, like, the default Cornellverse, and I'm playing a bigger company.
Yeah.
Where I'm looking for 80s and 90s. It's hard for me to look at a 42 and say, well, that's not too bad. When in reality, it's not where we want to be, but it's actually not that bad, for Impact, for a regional company.
And considering, I mean, we haven't even hit our first pay-per-view yet.
Yeah.
Storylines haven't really kicked in yet, so...
Yeah.
I think the product will get a lot better.
I hope so.
Go on.
Otherwise, Jericho stands to lose a lot of money. Next segment. All right, this is just basically, it's Eli Drake and Steiner come out. They're cutting a promo. The Briscoes cut a promo with them. They're just basically cutting a promo on this upcoming pay-per-view. The tag team title storyline gains heat. The Briscoes struggled going off script. Eli Drake was superb working without a script.
I knew it.
You did call that. And Scott Steiner was good without a script also. You did call that. I don't know Eli Drake. I don't know him. I'm surprised. I didn't expect him to be like
Eli's pretty good on the mic. He's an entertaining guy. If you give him a mic and you just sit back and just let him work, he'll entertain the crowd. All
right. That's good to know. And Steiner's always entertaining.
I mean, there's like, what, a 16% chance that
It's a 33% chance but Samoa Joe, he's fat. So I take his percentage. That puts me at a 98 and a 6%. Something like that. I don't know what the promo was.
I think the math was
Give me the
correct.
fucking mic.
Flex.
Flex. Next segment. Here we go. I like this. This actually scored way better than I thought it would.
Wow, this match was pretty much like a throwaway match.
This is a throw-in match. So here's what this
Wow.
match is. This is the number one contenders match for the X Division title. So here's the thing. When the game starts, we have 2 weeks before our first pay-per-view. So we're kind of just trying to throw in matches. None of our actual storylines that we have planned start until after Turning Point. So all these matches are pretty much throwaway matches. This is just to get an X Division title match. And it's decent wrestling, not much heat. Eddie Edwards defeats Adam Page, Pete Dunne, and Sami Callihan. Eddie Edwards defeats Adam Page by pinfall. Eddie Edwards was head and shoulders above everyone else. Adam Page was the weak link. So Page is a 33. Eddie Edwards is 62. Petey a 52, and Sami a 42.
I mean, it's pretty much as we expected.
Yeah.
But honestly, Adam Page at 33 is way higher than I thought he would score in this match.
Because he's unknown. I'm actually impressed with that. That's a 54. That's a really good match. I'm happy with that. All right. We're moving on up. Next segment. I think we're into our main event, actually.
Yes, we are.
We are. So here's our main event. It scores a 53. It's Austin Aries and Johnny Impact versus Pentagon Jr. and Phoenix. Aries and Impact defeat Pentagon and Phoenix in 16 minutes when Aries defeats Pentagon Jr. with a brainbuster. Let's see. Aries is a 73 scored here. Impact a 61. Pentagon a 42. And Phoenix a 34. So yeah, that's a strong finish. Was the other one a 54?
54.
So I actually beat the main event here. I am encouraged though. I like to see Aries. Aries scoring a 73 is way better than I thought it was going to be. I like that a lot. Let's end the show, see what we grabbed. A 51.
Wow.
All right.
I'll take it.
Desmond Xavier used too much. The show increased our popularity in 42 regions. So we don't lose popularity anywhere. We are on our way. We have a good, solid go-home show. That's what I'm talking about.
Better than last week, building in momentum into the pay-per-view. And this week, we are also in front of 2,200 people.
That's good. I like that. We're moving on up. All right. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Next one, make sure you're here for our next show. It's Turning Point. It's the pay-per-view. You get Austin Aries versus Pentagon Jr. for the world title. And it's a unification match. So it's the world title and the grand championship. Both matches on the line. I think I just blew the story there. I guess I shouldn't have said that it's a unification match. So if you hadn't been listening, we're unifying the belts. If you haven't checked out, if you haven't been watching the creative meetings, that match is going to unify the belts now that I blew that. So we get the unification match. We get Johnny Impact taking on Rey Fenix. It'll be the Briscoes versus Eli and Steiner. Eddie Edwards taking on Matt Sydal for the X Division title. Is that it?
I feel like there's more. Is there one more?
I feel like there's more. Those are the main matches. There'll be filler in there. But thanks for joining us. Check us out next time and every episode after that.